Everybody, this is a new episode of Unusually Usual, your favorite podcast. Right now, I need
go ahead
and
smash that like button.
Go ahead and hit that like button, thumbs
as we get
up.
Started.
Leave a comment. I need a new laptop. That is just became obvious.
That's the topic of conversation.
It's a little slow. I know you guys want part 2 of the last episode, but we're just gonna ignore that.
Yeah, fuck that. We're all about laptops
We're
now.
Canceling part 2.
Yeah,
and we're just gonna talk about the laptop instead.
We're one of those fucking technology podcasts now.
We're going a whole new direction now.
Like in the middle.
Yeah,
in the middle of season 2.
We don't know how to tell. Yeah, it's good. So we're never gonna finish season 2. It's gonna be a different.
We're gonna change it to unusual technology. Yeah. Just keep our fucking logo, like half of our logo.
All right, calm down, Technician Vic. All right, calm down. You're being a little too funny. All right, bro.
Share that meme on Instagram.
Which one?
When you make a joke at the podcast and everybody laughing, you're just like,
yeah, we got some guests in the building right now, and they kind of laughed a little too loud. I don't like that. But
should we pronounce the guests now too?
Pronounce the guest
or announce them? Did we do that last time? I said pronounce. That was my bad.
No, it's not good. No, I think we always do.
Do we? Oh yeah, we do, huh? I think.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
Chris,
so right now
there,
we got Camera Chris in the building. Shout out to Camera Chris.
Yeah. Does this gratis? That's free in Spanish and possibly Tagalog. I don't know, but they share many words.
We got intern Jess over here helping with
the. She made us food.
Made us food. Also helped set up. What's a professional word for that? Set up the. Set director. Thank you. She knows her position. Set director.
I cleaned up the couch and put all the pillows around everywhere.
She also helped me with my hair right now. So thank you, Camera Jess.
Camera Jess.
Intern Chris. When she graduates. Then we got someone on my left. I already announced his name. He's so beautiful and young. He's like Benjamin Button.
I'm like the youngest I've ever been.
He just gets older and younger. Technician Vic.
Yeah.
Stay on top of all the technologies.
Look at that guy. Yeah, it's a technology podcast now.
Which if you guys didn't know, like growing up, this is a true story. I don't think I shared this on podcast. Like growing up, if me and my mom had like technical difficulties, we go to Vic to figure it out.
I think he still do, like my mom still does. Gabriel still does sometimes too. Gabriel's pretty. He taught me how to save ads. I haven't done that in about 20 years.
That's like the only thing. Like when it comes to like just general stuff, like you understand it more than I do. Like when it comes to technology stuff, that stuff.
Oh yeah, because I remember I fixed that printer. Jessica's Wi-Fi printer.
For intern Jess.
I really didn't fix it. I just connected it to the Wi-Fi though.
It's usually like super simple shit, but it's like confusing for other people, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh,
but that was a sweet introduction, bro.
I'm not going to give Technician Vic any like intros because that's for part 1, as you guys know. Actually, before moving forward.
Oh, we got something important to say.
We got to tell you, this crisp noise is brought to you by the one and only left to right. You heard that in your headphones? If you got headphones? Campana Sounds,
the Bay Area's own.
Yes, so thank you, Campana Sound, for editing audio as always.
Every time. Keep us crisp. Keep us clear.
Yeah.
Damn.
But as you guys know, last episode was a part 1. This is a part 2. Victor was jumping the shark, if you guys are familiar with that phrase. And right when he was going to take airborne, we paused it.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Is he going to land?
Dude. Obviously.
Is the shark going to eat him?
So, we're on part 2, baby. We never know. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Hey, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Is he gonna pass?
Maybe I didn't pass.
Did he? I don't know.
Is this really him? It's hot.
But so back from what happened in part 1, Victor was sharing that he actually before that we were talking about how our grandfather had passed. We didn't really know him. This is during quarantine. Then Victor as well had gone to the hospital. Oh. It's fucking hot in here, by the way, you guys.
It's hot
if you
as
don't
fuck,
know.
guys.
We got these unusually usual sweaters right on.
I hope they look good on your cameras. Imagine how they look in person.
They're very comfy and very warm.
They keep you sweaty.
If you guys need any. And,
eventually, if we have some merch, hopefully somebody wants to rock the square. Unusually usual.
You'll be the hippest square in town.
It's hip to be square. Cue Huey Newton in the news and the boys.
I think so.
God, that band sucks. Anyways,
I don't even know what's that genre. I don't know.
Oh no, trash rock.
So part one, Victor was talking about that he had some alcohol in the system irresponsibly,
Well, I was being a bad boy.
drinking and driving, and not thriving.
I even had I have an open bottle of Mexican Coke in there.
Oh, like with the sugar.
Yeah, and it got everything sticky. That was not cool. I didn't realize
that's
I
not
had
good.
that. That's how drunk it was. Bad. Don't
That's
drink and
not
drive,
good.
boys and girls.
And then Victor was in the hospital. Our mama came in and she was being a bit of a typhoon.
Hurricane Georgette.
Hurricane Georgette. And then, so picking up where we left off, Victor, you're coming home from the hospital.
So mom gets me out of the hospital that same day. Physical therapy came in, and they asked me like, "Do you need physical therapy?" Anytime you have a neck injury, they have to check for physical therapy. I was like, "No," and they were like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Are you wearing your cast at the
I'm
moment?
in my neck brace, yeah, and I'm just laying in the bed, and I'm just swollen.
For
Everything.
those of you that don't remember, that may have listened to this episode last week, Victor has 2 fractured vertebrae in his neck.
My C2 and my C7. I still remember.
Yeah,
So it's
so-
one that's up here and one that's down here. Oh, you can't see it if you're listening to it. It's up towards the left side of my body, up towards my neck is my C2, and down a little bit more is my C7. I don't think I have a seatbelt on.
Oh,
So when I hit the
jeez.
old schmoozle boozle in the middle, I think my neck went kersplat. Once again, probably should have but you know, I'm kicking,
Well,
baby.
does that mean
I probably
worse?
should have died.
Oh,
Yeah, I think a lot of, or been paralyzed at the very least, because the physical therapy lady was like, "Can you feel that?" I said, "Yeah." Every doctor that came in had to do like a test on all my extremities, make sure I could feel everything. There's no numbness.
After the last week's episode, I'm sure you guys don't know, we usually have a big old house party and have a big old conversation afterwards. No, we don't. But Camera Chris does talk to us and ask
Yeah, we have a
questions and stuff.
little bit of a conversation.
And you mentioned to Camera Chris that one of the nurses was like, "Hey, does your mom pray?" or something like that.
Oh yeah. So Chris had, I had heard a couple times like, "You got somebody looking out for you," and then one of the nurses was like, "Does your mom pray?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Does she pray for you? Got you?" And I said, "Yeah." Obviously it's my mom. She's like, "Yeah, somebody was looking out for you, man, because
Yeah,
this should have been way worse."
Yeah, and just to clarify too, because I also think we didn't say this last episode, Victor was on the freeway.
Yeah, I was
he
on
got into a wreck.
I was on the freeway. Yeah, I wasn't on the street or anything. I was on the freeway. I was going probably at least 50 or 60. I crashed into the center divider like head on.
Okay,
I didn't know that yet though.
I'm done with my interruptions. I'm sorry. Okay, so
all good.
the guy is like checking your shoulders. Or something?
Yeah, so I have a physical therapy lady. She's checking my extremities. She's like, "You good?" And I said, "Yeah." She's like, "No numbness." I said, "No numbness." So she's like, "Okay, well, like I'm done here." And I said, "Oh, I think they thought it was worse." I think a lot of the doctors and nurses that came in were expecting something worse just because it was a neck injury. So she left, and then occupational therapy lady came in, and she just gave me some tips and tricks on how to get around. So they were already telling me like, you have to have somebody hold your neck to change your neck brace because it was going to get dirty because it was sweaty. You have to have somebody hold your neck.
What's going through your mind right now where you know you're going to be in this neck brace for like 2 months?
I was just hella annoying. I was just hella upset because being in the neck brace fucking sucked. My neck really hurt, but more so I look like a dog that just got spayed and or neutered. So I was just like, I look like a fucking idiot. I can't move my neck. It hella hurts. I was also worried about whether it healed correctly because a cast just keeps your arm straight. So imagine you're in a cast, listeners, and your arm's straight. You know what I'm saying? It keeps the bone sets. So what they said was the neck brace, because it's a neck injury, they can't put a cast on it. So I have my neck brace, and I was just like, yo, like if I don't have this shit correct, I don't want my bones to set incorrectly because then I'm fucked. More so than what I am right now. So like I was asking questions, how to turn it, how to fucking make sure my shit is on correctly. Is it too tight? Is it too loose? And then, as time went on, I figured it out on my own. And so occupational therapist, mind you, I don't think I said this. I said I had cuts on my legs, but my thighs hurt so fucking bad. It felt like I had done like 3 weeks worth of squats. It hurt so bad. And getting out of bed was tough because I had to roll on my side and I'd have to push off of my elbow because I can't move my neck because it hurts so bad. My legs hurt. So like I would like prop myself up and I'd have to swing my legs over, but it fucking hurt.
Wait, so after you're in the hospital. Immediately after you're like done with your bed, you went to physical therapy?
No, the physical therapist came to my room.
Oh,
she came to my. No, she's in the hospital.
Oh, in the hospital. Okay,
yeah, because I think they expected worse, and it wasn't that bad. They all were like, okay, because they knew I'd be going home. I got in there Easter Sunday, and I went home Monday afternoon. So, a lot of people came and checked and went. So, that shit just hurt. It hurt, like, using the bathroom. Walking around was tough. I'm not big on asking people for help. So, when I got out of bed, I had to get myself dressed. My mom was like, you want me to tie your shoes? And, I'm a 32-year-old man, 31-year-old man. I'm like, no, I don't want you to tie my shoes, but I couldn't reach my shoelaces. It's a very humbling experience, hurting yourself like that, because there's certain things I couldn't do. I couldn't do for myself anymore. And, just as simple, I couldn't reach my fucking shoelaces at the time. So mom tied them. I appreciated it. And so we're chilling. One of the nurses comes in and they're like, hey, we got your discharge papers. You can go home now. I said, okay, cool. And so I'm like, so when do I go back to work? Motherfuckers told me I could go back to work in 2 weeks. And I was like, hey, I have 2 fractured vertebrae. And they're like, you have you could go to work, right? Like you have, what's the word? What's the word when you're like, you're hurt? Nah, not workers' comp. It's like something like I could work, but I couldn't work to my full I couldn't work to my full abilities. So they were like, oh, do you have that at your job? And I said, I think. So they're like, oh, you can go back to work in 2 weeks. Limited something. So you go back to work in 2 weeks, but you can't turn your neck. You can't lift more than like 5 pounds. And there was one more stipulation. I just looked at him and was like, what the fuck is the point of me going back to work? Like, I can't turn my fucking neck.
For listeners that don't know, Vic works at Costco.
I work at Costco. It's not even like...
Yeah, but you do some heavy lifting.
I do heavy. Like, I knew I couldn't do my regular job.
Some more physical job.
So I was thinking like, oh, I could stand at the door, check receipts. And even then, it's like turning your neck is like basic human fucking doing anything 101. You're going to turn. And then they told me like, one of the nurses, she was like, you don't want to turn your spine that much because your spine's connected all the way up here. So if you fucking move your spine too much, you might fuck your neck up more. So I was just like, I looked at my mom and I'm like, I'm not going back to work in 2 weeks, man. That's ridiculous. Like, there's no way I'm going to feel better in 2 weeks. And so I come home, mom's driving me home. They fucking wheelchair me out. Once again, I'm a pretty big guy. It was this little like nurse lady, and I just felt hella bad because like you had to push me like over hills and shit. And I'm like, damn, I'm hella big. And I kept like, you want me to like roll myself? She's like, no, I got it. You're fine. I got it. I'm like, all right, man. Like, you get paid to do this, cool. And so they rolled me out, and I just sat there and waited in the wheelchair. And then mom pulled up, and I was like, okay, I get in my chair. I got in the car. We're driving home. And that fucking drive home sucked because every turn, I felt every bump. You ever had to pee real bad on the drive? And every bump is just like a jab in your kidneys? That's what it was, but it was neck pain. Yeah. And it's like, I'd move, ow, 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 ow. And then
how long's the ride home? Like what, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, so I was if you guys are from the area, if you're listening to this, I was at Eden, which is on Lake Chabot Road. So it was about 15 minutes from our house. If you're not from around here and you're listening to this in another state or country or state of mind, and it's about 15-minute drive. It's kind of hilly, but not super hilly. But at the same time, I don't want my mom to feel bad that she's driving. So I'm like, no, I'm fine, mom, I'm fine. But on the inside, I'm fucking gritting my teeth. So I come home, my first night home, talk to Gabe. I'm just chopping it up. Mom's hanging out for a while, and I'm like, I gotta sleep. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna sleep. And my neck, I can't lay down. It hurts too much. They told me I could lay down. It hurts. Like, I don't want to lay down. So I go to my room, take a bunch of pillows from anywhere, everywhere I could find, and like sit up. And I sit up, and I like lean my chin on my neck brace, and I sleep like some sort of guardian horse. No, what sleep standing up cows? It's like a
horses
guardian
too, I think.
Like a cow of some sort. And they gave me painkillers, but I didn't want to take the painkillers because
because you're gonna sell them. No, like
I still got that prescription, and I just prefer, even in the hospital, I prefer not to take them. One of the cool nurse, if you listen to part 1 of this, the cool nurse suggested I take it. She's like, you already paying for it, you might as well. And I said, that's a good point. I have an addictive personality, so I was like, if I enjoy this shit, I'm gonna fucking give me all the painkiller. I wouldn't, because I've taken painkillers before. I'd rather thug it out and see what's up. So first night, sleep propped up. That sucked. Once again, I probably woke up every like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. Everything still hurt. Everything. I mean, I had just gotten in a car accident 2 days before. Still, it wasn't even a full like 48 hours yet. So everything still hurt. Everything fucking cut on my head, still like fresh, still like bleeding, still kind of
swollen.
All the cuts on my legs are still open. And then my dad comes Tuesday. And I'm like, I wonder how my car looks. So he takes me to pick it up from the tow yard. I'm like, I really wonder how it looks. Because in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm not that fucked up. All intents and purposes, thinking about it, I'm not as fucked up as I thought I would be. You know, it hurt.
You mean like drunk, or you mean like injury?
Like injury wise.
Okay.
I was pretty fucked up driving. But like, as far as like injuries, I wasn't bad. You know, I could still move my neck. I could still move my body. I still had...
No broken arms.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't have anything was broken
besides the neck.
And so we go to the tow yard. Dad helps me out. It was like $450 or some shit to get it out. Some ridiculous price. I hate tow companies. And so we get the car towed here. I'm just waiting. Fucking tow company finally comes. And I'm like, oh shit. The entire fucking front is fucking smashed in. Like smashed. Nothing is salvageable. The fucking door frame is fucked up. Everything shit that I didn't think would have gotten smashed was smashed.
The inside of the car, I mean like the driver's seat and the passenger seat is all pushed in as well because of the front, you know.
It was fucked up. And I was just like, oh, I guess it was pretty bad. Because I just thought maybe I just hit the corner. Maybe I hit a corner. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And I looked at it and was like, damn, I fucked that shit up. And I get like, we'll talk about this later, but even at the time, I'm just like, whatever, like, you know, shit happens. I didn't die. I'm gonna keep it pushing. That first week was tough. That first week was super tough.
Yeah, kind of describe like what thoughts go through your head. What are you feeling?
I felt helpless. I don't like feeling helpless. I felt super helpless. Cause like even going poop, it's hella hard because my fucking thighs were so bad. It hurt so bad to just crouch.
You think it's because of the neck, like the nerves and the leading up to the neck?
I think when I fucked my legs up, I think like my fucking thighs took hell of the fucking like they braced it. So it felt like I literally felt like I had done like a bajillion squats.
Just hella bruises or something.
Yeah, it felt really bad. So like picking something up, I had to squat down because I can't bend over. So I would squat and it just hurt. And then using the bathroom would hurt. Showering, I can't really, like, it'd be hard to wash my hair. I take my neck brace off. Don't tell my doctors. I took my neck brace off to wash my hair. And it would hurt because, like, I can't tilt my neck back. I can't really tilt my neck forward. So I would just kind of like, I contemplated cutting my hair because it was such a pain in the ass to wash.
Yeah. I mean, that's smart.
I was just like, I don't want to deal with this. But I saw the light at the end of the tunnel and was like, it's going to get better. It has to get better.
So even then, when you're like home, you know, I remember seeing you. Of course, it wasn't in this room because this isn't home.
Oh, this is a set. So I did not sleep right
here. It was very similar to this place. And I remember, you know, sitting down with the pillows and stuff. And so even then, when you're like just chilling, you felt like, okay, at least there's some optimism.
There was. I remember I just kept thinking about what the doctor said. I had heard one doctor was like, you know, you have the broken, they're going to fix in a couple months. And so I was like, okay, I know I'm going to get better. And I didn't really talk about like what was going through my mind at the time, like besides being scared. But, you know, I had saved up some money. I had saved up some money. I was just about to pay off another car that I had. I was on my last like 2 payments. And I just remember thinking like, I just really fucked like everything I've been working towards. I just fucked it all up. And so another thing that was pissing me off about my mom storming in there.
Hey, Vicky, you just said this. Sorry, listen to the screen. Sorry, listeners. Oh my god.
This doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, I don't know why. Sorry, everybody listening. Little computer issue. We're good.
We're back, baby.
Need a new laptop.
So it was one thing about my mom busting my balls was like, I've been busting my balls from the time I was arrested to the fucking moment I fucking got out of the hospital to the moment I was sitting here. All I could do was go over in my head like how much I had just fucked up and threw like everything I had been working towards away. But there's another part of me, you know what I'm saying? That was like 3/4 of it. 3/4 of my brain was occupied with what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you throw all this shit away? What the fuck is wrong with you? We're all fucked. And there's another part of me was like, yo, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna get back to it. And it's hard to hear that voice because I was so like punching myself in the face so hard. But like I knew it was there. I knew I'd bounce back. And it's tough to see and it's tough to hear. But I kept telling myself, you know, that little voice kept telling me, and I listened to it like, you know, we'll be all right. But the majority of it was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that's a tough thing, dude, to like constantly I bashed myself for probably like a solid week straight. All of my thoughts, all of my daily thoughts were just like, you fucked us up.
You described about like how difficult showering was.
Yeah.
And your thoughts at the time, like over those 2.5 months, were there any other like difficulties besides like you kind of described like getting up?
Oh, I can't drive.
Can't drive.
I lost my license. I got a DUI, so like I didn't drive, and so once again, like a lot of this comes back to like I consider myself a very independent person. It's kind of like sometimes it's a false independence because I do need like Gabe and Jess help me out a lot, like even in my regular life, you know. But this time was like, my mom would call me up like, yo, you need to go get groceries? Do you need groceries? Do you need me to come cook for you? And before I'd be all like, leave me alone. And now I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. Like, I can't do some of this shit. And, you know, Jessica, she would cook like, hey, I made extra. Do you want me to cook for you? Gabe would like, hey, Vic, do you need anything? Can I help
kissies?
Yeah. Can I help you with anything? Can you? And it's once again, like, I have a pretty big ego, and I don't know if my ego ties into me not wanting help. I think it's like we get into this too, though. It's a little bit, I think it's a depression thing where it's like, I don't want to be a burden. I have to do this shit for myself. I have to.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it. I can't drive. So yeah, can you take me here? Like, can you take me to the fucking comic book shop? Like even just something as simple as that. Can you guys take me here? You know, I'd be embarrassed to be seen in public with my neck brace. I'd zip my jacket up over it, you know. But the most powerful thing about me is I still kept drinking because I'm not a fucking quitter.
Well, you weren't drinking in your fucking neck brace, though.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, my God. When?
Absolutely, I was. When I would go out, I just drink.
Oh, gosh. Tell the ID story. Jeez, you just popped something into my head. ID story? Because they took your ID, but...
Oh, I don't know if I should be saying this on, but they're.
Wait, well, you just said you went out drinking.
Yeah, but I mean, I look 21. I've looked 21 since I was 21.
Well, ignore what I just said, then I guess.
There are things, you know, sometimes if you have an extra license, you could get away with certain things.
Okay, we'll keep it, yo.
I mean, I went to
Oh, big. Okay, yeah. Okay, continue your story. As you can see, there's discomfort in me, but.
What's done is done, baby.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're all human at the end of the day, though, and we all got shit we're figuring out. But okay, so you still go out?
I'm still going out. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still hanging out. Whatever. To maybe like at the end of the second month.
Yeah, real quick. How soon did you go out again? Like drinking?
Like maybe 3-4 weeks, because I still wore my neck brace the entire time. I never took it off, so probably like 3 or 4 weeks,
and then
maybe a little longer.
Did any part of you go like, this is a little weird?
I didn't want to. Yeah, I wasn't. It was one of my friend was encouraging me, like, hey, let's go out, and I was just like, And it wasn't so much that I thought it was weird. It was just embarrassing. I'm in a fucking neck brace. So I don't really give a fuck. Like, you know, drink is whatever.
It was more concerning. To me, it's like, huh? So, and I'm not judging you or anything. I'm just trying to understand. Were you there was more concern on the neck brace than the like, hey, alcohol got me here. Maybe I shouldn't be drinking right now.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, man.
It is what it is.
Wearing that neck brace is embarrassing as fuck. Getting drunk is like a social norm, so that doesn't really bother me.
Okay.
So I'm still doing my thing, whatever, blah blah. As probably towards the end of the second month, I would take my neck brace off during the day, but I would wear it to sleep every night still.
And they told you 6 weeks, right?
Told me, one doctor told me 6 weeks.
You had to keep it on for 6 weeks.
Another doctor told me 8 weeks, and another doctor told me 12 weeks. So another
doctor told you 3 years.
No, that's how I feel. I got a broken neck, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. So what I took from it was how if I feel well enough to take it off, and I feel like it's sufficient, then I'll be all right to take it off. So by the end of 6 weeks, I would take it off during the day, but I would sleep in it at night because I don't know, like, you know, you might be rolling around and shit. You don't want to fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
So I would put it back on when I go to sleep, and then eventually.
Sorry, Vic. Can you just put your finger on the fucking?
So it doesn't close again.
Yeah, there we go. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe every 5-10 minutes.
And then so I would just wear it, and then by the end of the 6th week, I would take it off. I felt comfortable. I knew, you know. I don't know. Some people, I mean, sometimes you don't know your body. Sometimes you get like surprised, but I knew I was okay for the most part. That's fucking 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm packing 2.5 months into a 30 minutes. So far, so good. Mm-hmm. And so I started taking it off. I remember I told them at the doctor's office I needed more time. You know, I didn't feel comfortable going back to work. They were cool. They gave me a little bit more time off. And then I started not wearing it because I felt comfortable. Like my neck still was like, look what I could do. And so I felt better. I had one last doctor's appointment, and he's the head of neurosurgery, and he was like, how does your neck feel? And I'm like, it feels good. And he's like, I think you could, you know, do you feel okay to take off your neck brace? I said, yeah, I feel better. I could take it off. And so, oh wait, when did this happen before or after? It was before, huh?
Before what?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, it's before.
The doctor was before, right? Yeah. Because I think I was almost back to work at this point.
We'll get to the ...
Oh yeah, we'll get to the ... in a second. But the doctor was like, you know, as long as you feel okay, you're fine. And I said, okay. So after that, I was like, cool, no more neck brace. So I said, fuck the neck brace. My neck, I mean, sometimes I don't have full range of motion sometimes. Sometimes it hurts when I wake up. But for the most part, I think I'm pretty good. I still move my whole body like a fucking sentry gun. That's kind of interesting.
Intern just like that.
She loves that joke. Everybody, that's a pretty good joke. Dude, that one kills. I tell that joke all the time.
Fucking Vic.
And
fucking technician Vic.
You gotta do what you gotta do, baby. You gotta give the people what they want.
So you shared, and I think we're gonna get into this direction now. The ... leading up to the ... Obviously, Vic.
Oh, we get to crash right now because this is a whole different angle that I don't know anything about this.
We're winding back to episode 1. We're going back to our crash moment. Not the literal crash of Vic, but the movie crash, and not to be confused with the early 1990s film Crash.
Starring
the auntie from Roseanne.
Okay, just to make sure that crash. Okay. And this new crash.
This newer crash.
Stars Terrence Howard?
Yes, Terrence Howard, an ensemble of actors.
It's an ensemble cast.
Brendan Fraser, and also what's her name? You love her.
Isn't Sandra Bullock?
Sandra Bullock.
She's in Crash, right?
Yeah, she plays a bitch in that movie, but usually her roles are sweetheart.
Like Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, 1 and 2. For all the movie fans out there,
you guys like this shit. Eat it up.
But anyway, yeah. So over here at my angle, while Vic is doing his thing, yeah, obviously, you know, you're drinking, you got into a car wreck, you still drink after the car wreck, you get out of the brace, and you're still drinking. Okay, so maybe talk a little bit about that. What's kind of like going through your mind still where you're like, okay, I'm just going to keep fucking... I guess also I would say it's not like it's not like a daily Victor's getting fucked up thing. But I mean, in my eyes, I think in someone that was maybe a little bit more alert to it, they would see something as like, hey, maybe you should be taking a pause right now and kind of reflecting a bit more.
Yeah, I think it's not an everyday thing, because I hear about some people who are like alcoholics and like, you know, you got to have a bottle when you eat, you got to fucking this and that. And it wasn't that extreme for me, but it was pretty frequent. Say maybe like maybe twice a week, like minimum.
Maximum. Yeah, I guess even leading up to the crash. So if for listeners that don't know, you know, we come from a family that there's substance abuse, and of course not every member, but there's substance abuse in the family, and I do think certain mental issues run in the family too. And I will say, I think our generation has been trying to work on breaking it, but
some of us harder than others.
But so me kind of, and I think I'm a little bit more tapped into seeing certain behaviors, or, you know, because I do the little readings and the little self-helps and blah, blah, blah. So leading up to the crash, I mean, even I was...
Oh, you were waiting for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Okay, I realized you're joking. I was like, damn, was I giving that vibe? Nah, maybe I should just save this for the ...
I was thinking, because there's a couple there's
well, I'll just say this, leading up to the crash, you know, you talked about your depression, and you know, I would just see behavior where I was concerned about your drinking. You know what I'm saying? Because the recipe was there for something bad. You know, and I'm sure you're just like, hey, okay, have a couple drinks, or have a beer, because I was noticing it'd be a day where you'd have like a beer or two. The next day you'd have a beer or two. The next day you'd go out with friends. The next day have a beer or two. Next day go out with friends. You know, so now you're drinking like 4 or 5 times out of every week, or like 3.
That okay.
And keep in mind, Victor didn't drink till he was like 25.
Yeah, I never had a drink until I remember the night I got drunk. I was 25.
And there's a reason that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, I wasn't a big proponent for alcohol.
And it's like
things I've seen.
And, you know, and then seeing that, I go, okay, what's the reason here? You know, why is this going on?
I don't give a fuck. That was kind of the reason. It was like, I just don't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm sure you know now. I'm
not trying to sound gnarly, because I know like gnarly, it sounds kind of metal.
Funny word.
But like, I just don't give a fuck about anything. Like,
which you know at this point. Currently, that's not
badass.
That's not healthy. Not badass.
No. It's not healthy. Yeah.
So okay, so Cher, you're out of the brace.
I'm out of the brace. I'm chilling.
You're going out and drinking still.
Still doing my thing. Yeah, still drinking. I guess we get to the ... This is what I meant.
Leading up to the ... Oh no, I guess yeah.
Yeah, because my point was like, I've never heard this side of your guys' side of the story.
Yeah. Okay. So. You want me to explain that ... or you want to go ...
I say you talk about the ... and then we could just meet it. We have our crash moment in the middle.
Okay, so I was seeing again
fucking day, you're gonna get to this ... I swear, guys, I'm so
you know,
sorry.
Substance abuse runs in the family. Victor having depression.
I don't know if we've ever talked about that. I have depression. I don't know. We kind of touch on it, but like, I have depression. And I know you guys, like, I don't know if this comes across, because for most intents and purposes, I'm pretty jovial. And I think...
for the listeners that don't know that word.
Jovial is kind of like happy, kind of like, you know...
lighthearted, maybe? Or
yeah.
Like, for the listeners.
Okay. My bad, listeners. You know, I'm me on words. Jovial is kind of like lighthearted, kind of like jokery. Kind of like, you know, I fuck
young
around.
Man right there.
And, fucking Gabe, dude. And so, like, you know, if you've seen me out, I'm very, like, you know, I guess I don't try, but it comes off as I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking, I'm fucking loud, I'm trying to make jokes, blah, blah. But when I'm at the house, like, I'm not really on, you know, I'm kind of quiet. I kind of keep to myself. I'm in my room, or I'll be over here playing games. And, you know, I still make jokes. I still, like, me and Gabriel, we still make fun of Jess. I still talk shit to Gabe. I still, you know, Christian little cutie over there, I still give him little kissies on the cheek. But, you know, on the inside, I'm just kind of like, And I don't know how to describe it when I talk about my depression to people. It's like it's like everything is gray. Everything, like, I'm not sad, but I'm also not happy. I'm not fucking, there's not a lot of highs, there's not a lot of lows. Everything's just kind of gray. Everything just kind of like is.
I think, obviously Victor and I are brothers and we grew up under the same house. Hey.
Oh, who's that?
So, I have my background and I guess it was depression too. I don't know, maybe, are you supposed to compare depressions? Is that, no? I don't know.
Compare them. Mine's is better because I got it real.
You got the real depression.
Yours is fake, dude.
We've talked about it before. I think mine was from like 15, 16 and then it probably sputtered out around 25. Just because I just put a lot of effort into reading and trying to fucking just get out of it and shit. But what I'm trying to say is I saw the signs. You know what I'm saying? I saw the signs.
I think that's what's in before we get to the ... we fucking still meandering. I think one of the important things is that I never admitted it, and I never thought that's what it was because I wasn't sad. So I'm like, how can you have depression if you're not sad? I'm not sad. I don't give a fuck about anything and nothing matters, but I'm not sad, so I can't be depression. I just thought I was like a cool, like, fucking was Rick? He's a fucking nothing nihilist. I just thought I was a cool nihilist. Like, nothing matters, everything sucks, we all die.
It's very hot topicy, but it is what it is.
They saw Rick and Morty at Hot Topic.
Very
so
hot topicy, but
so that's what I always just thought it was. It was just that's just my mentality. And so I think one day my friend Joey passed away. He OD'd, and
those tears right there.
That really gets me when I talk about it.
Just be real. It's all good.
So when Joey passed away, it kind of like, I was super sad, but it was like it was a weird, I had no control over it sad. And it just felt like why can't I understand it? Because I couldn't get it. And I knew he was one of my really good friends. But it like made me question how I felt.
And this was when he passed in 2020, or
yeah, he passed last year. His anniversary of his passing was like last month, I think, 2 months ago. So when that happened, like, I kind of looked at myself in the mirror and was like, I think we have depression, dude. Like, I think something's up. Fuck. And that really got me. And it made it a little easier to like swallow that pill. When we get to this,
which is funny. I mean, not funny in a good way. I guess in a sad, funny way.
He uses comedy to deflect so hard.
No, I say because we've talked about that. We've had suicidal thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. Before that, we've both had our years of suicidal thoughts, and it's funny to think that even I had a tough time kind of coming to grips with, like, there's something there in my head. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that you would think that too, or because we've talked about you've had suicidal thoughts too, but you didn't come to the grips of maybe this is depression. And
yeah, I just thought it was normal. Like, I still think it's normal to an extent. I don't know if it's normal to dwell on it, and I don't know if it's normal for it to go to a certain. Because I have asked people, you ever thought about killing yourself? And I've gotten a lot of yeses, and I've gotten a fair amount of no's.
I think the difference though is, I mean, we're probably more, when I was in it, and maybe you still now, it was more of a daily thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much, it's kind of,
it's me awkward laughing it off.
It's kind of a daily thing where I just like, if I killed myself today, it wouldn't, like, nothing would change.
Yeah,
nothing.
Like a lot of the times when
other
I was
than
just
Gabriel's and Jessica's rent would go up.
Yeah, fuck. But no, yeah. So getting to it, like, I was seeing behavior, and I was noticing too where you kind of describe it as a grayness that you're feeling, but the grayness was, there's like a quote, I can't remember the quote, but essentially if you're not, like, growing, doing anything. If you're staying stagnant, then you're actually like falling behind.
Yeah.
Something like that. I forget what the quote is. They put it in a more poetic way. Yeah. But I could see that. You know?
There's one thing that sticks out in my head pretty like tough too. One day I looked at you and I was like, hey Gabe, I think I have depression. You remember this? And you are like, you just noticed it? We've all noticed that for a while. I was like,
oh, that's not very considerate of me.
I said, I think I have depression. And you're just like, oh yeah, you just barely saw that? We've all noticed that for a while. But I don't think the way I took it is like, not that you don't give a fuck. It's just that no matter what you guys told me, it wouldn't. Like, I'm not gonna listen to you until I figure it out.
Oh yeah, if you guys know the real Vic, the real technician Vic,
a little stubborn. I'm a little. He's
stubborn. A little stubborn. He's a little like.
I think it runs in the family though. I guess
intern Jess, does he work for both of us? Who's more stubborn?
I think.
Is it equal?
I think Gabriel's more. He's more willing to change habits. I'm gonna go down swinging. And you could tell me to my face, and unless I feel it, I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna do nothing. But Gabriel, you could tell him the sky is blue, and if it's like periwinkle, he'd be like, nah, it's fucking periwinkle. And we're just like, okay, Gabe. We're stubborn about
That's just the way God made me.
That's fucking... Randy Travis stole my song.
Okay, so I can see shit.
So Gabriel saw the writing on the wall.
I can see the writing on the wall. And I can see where things are heading because, to be honest, and I told you this, and not in a rude way, in like a brother to brother talk. I said I wasn't surprised when I got that call. That was a DUI.
You did tell me that.
That's why I even asked on the phone when you called, like, is it alcohol related?
That was the first thing you asked me.
And just the way leading up to the DUI, I think I told you this too. I think it wasn't just something that occurred. Mm-hmm. It was an accumulation of many moments that, whether you passively agreed or denied things or whatever, that gets you into that moment where you go, I'm gonna drink and drive and this is what's gonna happen. Yeah. That's kind of my perspective on it. And, so leading up to it, I was seeing behavior, and even a year or two previous to that, I could kind of see things heading to the DUI, even that far ahead.
Things were in motion.
And I try to talk to you about things here and there, but the stubbornness, and I go, okay, well, it is what it is. And so it got to the point where I'm like, okay, Victor just got this cast. He's still drinking even after in the cast and outside the cast. And I'm like, this isn't good. And so I got with intern Jess, got with our cousin Diego, and I talked to them, and I was like, yo, like, we need to talk to Vic. Essentially, we got to give him an intervention because...
Yep, that's the ... boys and girls.
Yeah, the ... is an intervention, and I think the alcohol was really only the surface, though, because I don't think Vic is an alcoholic, but he has the recipe for one. And I've been addictive personality, runs in the family, depression.
It's funny because, like, even till this day, I don't think of myself as an alcoholic because I don't. And it feels weird because I got the DUI. I was drinking pretty often, but I still I don't think of myself. I think it's just my depression mixed with me needing to shut it up.
That's why I feel like the alcohol is the surface. The more so the intervention was like, all right, Vic, we need to remind you why you're worth being loved and why you need to attempt to address the depression.
Yeah, if any of you guys have been depressed, it's hard. It's hard to hear that because I spend so much of my time feeling like I'm a burden to these people. I feel like for Gabriel and Jessica and Diego, I'm a fucking burden, dude. They'd be so better off without me. And I think that a lot. A little bit less now since the ...
since the intervention.
But it's still something that comes up, and it's something that I have to, I mean, not to make a joke, but I have to talk myself off the ledge because for so long, it's that's how I think about myself. I'm just a burden to all you guys. And it's hard to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, as someone that's been in that mindset and also grew grew up under the same house, like I think there's similarities obviously in our personalities and point of views on ourselves. And I had low self-esteem for a long time. And I know that's what it was because we've talked about it before. I have that feeling sometimes as well where I hate to be a burden. I don't like that feeling of like, I don't know. It's hard to explain really because you don't have evidence for it, but you feel it.
I think, just from growing up, it might be like, growing up in a single parent household, growing up kind of lower middle class, upper lower class. It's just like you're kind of taught to survive. And it's like you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you do what the fuck you have to do for, you and your family to survive. And so I always felt like it's like a survival instinct where it's like, I gotta look out for myself. I can't be a burden for you. I can't be a burden for you because you guys gotta look out for you. And I don't want to add to your guys' struggle.
Yeah, I think so. Even to add to that too, I think it just like, I don't know why. Sometimes we just think we suck. And then so it's like, fuck, I don't want to like hang around this person because I suck. Like, sometimes you think like you don't add anything. But I knew that, if it's chess, I knew you're thinking that. So I'm like, yo, like I gotta get the fucking who makes Captain Planet? What were those kids called? I don't remember.
Planeteers? Yeah.
I gotta get the Planeteers together so we could go talk to Captain Planet. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of sweet, dude.
So I'm like,
Christian's Captain Planet. There's the four of us.
Actually, he's like, Christian, you need to come too. Camera Chris, he's like, I'm busy that day.
Oh, I knew it. I was like, you guys, I don't really change yet, but I would have, if Christian would have came, I think I would have, that day, I would have been a better person, but, he did it, so here we are talking about it.
Fucking Camera Chris. It is what it is. He's here now.
I guess. He's recording us.
But I knew you were thinking like that, and then so I was like, okay, let me get Jess and Diego together, and let's write some letters about how we feel about you, so it could overtake the negative thoughts and just be hella raw. And when we had the intervention, I think we were all just chilling. I don't think you were really expecting anything.
Can I hit my crash moment now?
Go ahead. Here,
so we're eating banh mi's. We're eating some Vietnamese sandwiches, dude. We're watching Invincible. I'm like, what a good time hanging out with Diego and Gabriel and Jess. How fun. And then I just hear, hey, you guys think it's time? And I swear to fucking God, I just said, I wonder what it's time for. And I look over and fucking Diego whips out a notebook. And then I'm like, what? And then Jessica whips out a notebook and Gabriel pulls his phone out. And I said, oh shit, they're having an intervention for me. And I was fucking dying laughing on the inside because I was like, this is so awkward. And I also make the joke when, we're about to start. I was like, I know why people run out on interventions. They're very uncomfortable. And they're very awkward because you're just like, oh, God, I'm the center of attention. And it's all negative attention. But it's not negative attention. It's just in your head. You're like, oh, God, we're doing this for a bad reason.
Yeah. But so Diego went first. He shared his letter. Then Jessica shared her letter. I shared my letter. I'm pretty sure all four of us cried.
Not me, though. Just the three of y'all. Okay, I cried a little bit,
Vic cried. Yeah. We all cried. And, we shared some deep shit, how we feel, how we truly feel, and how we feel you should feel about yourself, because there's a lot of feels in here. How you should feel about yourself, because there's a reason we feel like that about you. You know what I'm saying? And
once again, anybody who's felt down on themselves, if you've felt down on yourself for such a long period of time, hearing all these people tell you how much they love you and how much they care about you, it falls on deaf ears for a little bit because it's so hard to take in, because you're so like, you fucking suck, you're worthless, you fucking suck, you're worthless, you fucking suck, you don't contribute anything, you're worthless. So hearing all these people tell you how much they love you and all this other stuff, it's just like, oh shit. And it's still hard to take in because it's just, you don't want to believe it.
The way I look at it is like, you could compliment somebody that got like depression or whatever, and it's like little jabs, like, But if you give them the intervention letter, it's the big TKO. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was pretty big.
But it's love, you know what I'm saying? Not violent.
It was violent love.
Violent love. And I mean, okay, so you get the intervention. The big takeaway is like, yo, Vic, we want you to try to go to therapy and just see why you should show up in your life.
Yeah, and Gabriel and Jessica and Diego pointed out, like, you have to show up, because I just don't fucking care about anything. I just don't fucking care. I care a little bit now, but I didn't care. Like, I just, whatever, dude, whatever. Life happens, another day, another day, another day, another day. One day I'm gonna fucking die. Who cares? And, yeah, that was my mentality for, kind of still is, a little less so because I'm trying to curve it. But for a long time, that's kind of like how I felt. Like, nothing matters. All this shit sucks. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah.
I'm not in general. I'm not saying you or anything. I'm just saying. But okay, so the intervention is done. In my eyes, I'm like, okay, like I gave it a big. I tried.
That was his last hullabaloo.
In a way, yeah, because Vic, we've talked for years, and I know I'm stubborn. You're stubborn too, and I felt like I've tried a lot of different things with you.
Yeah, it's tried a lot,
and I was like, okay, let me pull out this fucking intervention. Let's do it.
That's pretty good. That was good. Like, last card.
Yeah, I think at that way, like, I mean, at that point, I'm like, okay, if I love you, in a way, I proved it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it wasn't just a random intervention. I mean, it was like, years of trying to talk and listen and I tried being hard with you.
Nope.
At first, early on, but now our relationship got kind of shitty.
I tried soft,
didn't work. And then, I was just like, okay. Now I'm kind of just like, you're going to do what you got to do. But I know that I tried. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
And so intervention's over and...
I don't really change, kind of the same shit. One thing that did change, I don't really discuss it, was it did make me take a step back every now and then. Whereas before, I'd never, like I said, everything's gray all the time. But for the first time after you guys talked to me, there's certain times where I take a step back and I try to like what the fuck? But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna do what the fuck I want to do.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe we talk about that because I think that actually also ties into when I'll let you explain it, but you were still drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You got drunk again really bad.
That's pretty bad, yeah. That's my last hullabaloo.
And I think you reflecting now, like you just said, you kind of take a step back. You taking a step back made you realize something. So maybe talk about
that last.
Yeah, night? That last hurrah.
That's my last hurrah. So
and then your thought process during it, after it.
2 days before I went back to work.
How long after intervention? Maybe 2 weeks after intervention?
Honestly, I don't remember.
3 weeks?
Maybe a little bit longer.
A month after the intervention? Probably around 3 weeks to a month after the intervention.
Was I still wearing the neck brace at the intervention?
No, I don't think it. Maybe it was during when you had it. I want to say the intervention was like 2 months after the accident.
Because I went to bat. Oh, you know what? Then it might have been like the week after, or maybe a week and a half after. Diego, I don't know. Anyways, it wasn't a very long time period. So I don't tell. It was
probably after the intervention. When that happened, it was probably 3 weeks, a month after the intervention.
I was only gone for 2.5 months from work. We gotta do some. We'll do some fact checking for.
Okay, 2 weeks. We'll just say 2 weeks.
Let's figure it. It was So I was still kind of doing whatever what I wanted to do. I'm still stressing about the DUI. I had a court date. I went to the court date. The shit was whatever. I went to court. It was chill. My last hurrah. I go out with my friend. I get fucking blasted again. I don't tell this part. Not a lot of people know this part. He was also drunk. This is everybody's first time hearing this. So he was drunk. We were driving, gone to the freeway, and he made his turn too wide, and his car went. Oh
gosh, I'm cringing.
And I said, I wonder what that is. My memory kicks in like right before that. I think this is God's way or the universe's way, whatever you believe in. So my memory kicks in as we're getting onto the freeway. I don't remember. There's like an expanse that I don't remember. But right before we get onto the freeway, I remember going on there. On my way home, the fucking car makes a weird ass noise. He's fucking blasted too. So we pull over to the side of the road. And he's like, my car's fucked up. And I said, all you gotta do is get me home. We're almost home. Because I was like, that's it. Just get me home. That's all I want. I'm drunk. And he's like, nah, my car is really fucked up. And I'm like, man, just get me home. He's like, I can't drive it. It's fucked up. He calls his friend. His friend comes and picks us up and drops me off. Now, I wake up the next morning. I'm hungover as shit. Hungover. And I'm embarrassed to come out of my room because I don't want to see Jessica and Gabriel. Because once again, I feel like a burden. I don't want to put this on them. I don't want them to be embarrassed by me. I'm just embarrassed. I don't come out of my room till about 1 in the afternoon. My friend texted me at like 7. Fucking entire back wheel came off of his car. His entire wheel came off, was gone on the freeway. And so God's over, it was 0 for 2 now. And I was like,
that's such a fucked up way to put it, but it's pretty funny.
He tried twice to get me in. They were both in cars, too.
That was really dark, but really good.
And that's also a good joke,
Give him a round of applause. That was 0 for 2. Come on. That's terrible.
God's over. Well,
that's terrible. Hit this laptop.
And
again,
it's not
please.
like, I make a joke out of it. But at the same time, I was like, fuck. It was 2 months ago. I was in a very similar scenario. I probably should have died. This time, the fucking entire wheel comes off of a car on the freeway again.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there in my room, hungover. I'm embarrassed to see these two.
But if you don't give a fuck about shit, why are you embarrassed? Is because you are starting to give a fuck, or you've always been embarrassed, but you're just hiding it? Like why? I'm trying to figure it
because
out.
of the intervention. Because of the intervention, I was embarrassed for you guys to see me like this. Before, it was just like a running joke. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever. But because you guys had tried to get through to me, and I woke up like this, and I fucking threw up in the garbage can in my room. My friend's car had fucking lost a wheel, and I just looked at it like, yo, that's pretty fucking bad that happened. We could have got hit on the fucking road by a car. As we're pulling over, I could have got hit while I'm on the fucking side of the road. It kind of all just coalesced into this feeling of just like, I feel like shit. And it wasn't like I'm gonna look directly into the camera. It wasn't like, it wasn't like a bad, I feel like shit. It was just like, how did I get to this point? Why did I allow myself to get to this point? Why am I making these stupid ass fucking choices when I know better? When I'm going to see these two when I walk out, and they know that I know better and they want better for me. And I'm still sitting here doing the same stupid shit that I always do. And so I fucking manned up. I walked out of my room and I looked at Gabe and Jess and I told them that I couldn't drink anymore until I understand why I got so drunk when I drink, and why I drink so heavily when I drink, and why I don't give a fuck. And I started crying a little bit because this is the first time in a long time, Gabriel, as he puts it, this is the first time I had to show up for myself. I never show up for myself, and I had to put myself first before, like my ego, before my embarrassment, before all this other shit. Like, I had to show up, and I don't usually do that, and I had to do it for me.
How's so that was maybe a month ago?
Yeah, it was about a month ago because I've been at work. I've been back at work for a month, and that was happened. Yeah, it happened on the 14th.
How's I won't say battle. I'll say relationship. How's the relationship with alcohol been?
So I've been to a brewery. I've had a couple drinks. I guess the one thing that I needed to understand and what I'm still working on is my relationship with alcohol and why I feel like when I drink, I need to drink so heavily. So one thing that I've been practicing is if I do go out, I give myself, like, I just don't want to get drunk. So I went to a brewery Sunday and, I had 2 beers. Then I drank a cup of water. Went to another brewery. I had a cup of water. I ate, and then I drank 2 more beers. So I'm trying, whereas before I'd be like, another one. Because if I'm a drink, I'm just going to get fucked up. Why not?
Yeah.
And now I need to understand why my relationship with it. So until I understand that, I don't feel comfortable getting drunk. And so I told Jess the other day, this is probably the longest I've gone without being like heavily buzzed or drunk in probably years. Yeah, I don't remember. This has been like a month. I haven't been drunk since that night. I haven't been drunk. And usually like it'd be like every weekend, every other weekend at a minimum. Maybe like when I have my neck brace, twice a week.
And I think with everything said, I think you making this choice about slowing down alcohol is you showing up for yourself, Yeah. It's you saying, all right, essentially you have to question yourself.
Yeah.
And, we've had conversations like this before. Like, I think, I try to like get your mind working and I question you so you could start questioning yourself. But I think sometimes you don't like that because, I think sometimes you don't see the point. Like, am I even worth it? Or something like that. But I think you're showing that you are worth it.
Yeah. And there's been other like little steps I've been taking. I've been trying to do certain things. I've been trying to, I talk more with Gabriel about certain things because there are certain things that I would talk about with him that I didn't think he'd care about. So I would talk about it with Jess or I talk about it with friends. And I think me holding back things deteriorated my relationship with Gabe. So I've been trying to bring him into my world. Like, even though he may not like it, I still want him to be a part of it.
Do you just to chime in? Do you remember I think it was like a week after you got into the accident, and we talked about our relationship?
Oh yeah, he told me we had a C-level relationship,
and that kind of hurt your feelings.
Yeah, it was a revelation to hear Gabriel was like, "No, we got a C-level relationship. Like I have a better relationship with like most of my friends," and I was like, "Son of a bitch! This whole time I thought we were like hunky dory."
Yeah, and then
so it just goes to show you can't trust anybody.
No, it was just about like, which I'm the reason I bring it up is because I'm happy that you're kind of opening up more and being more open to talk about your flaws, my flaws, or just that type of shit.
Jessica's
you know what I'm saying? Intern Jess's flaws. And sometimes I felt like our relationship for the most part was like just movies, comics, music, which is great. A little bit about ourselves, but then like I usually come to you with my shit.
Does. But that's because Gabriel talks a lot. That's Gabriel. Yeah. This is his MO, dude.
I'm like, yo, Vic, you gotta check this shit out.
Yo, Vic. Man, you know what happened the other day, Vic? Man, you know what happened this weekend, Vic?
Vic, I gotta share something with you. This shit's fucking
dude, you guys have no idea how many times I've heard that.
Cause I know what it's like. We grew up the same way where it's like I kept so much shit inside and just fucking just eats away at you, and the little things get heavy after time. You know what I'm saying?
And I think there's like, I share it with my friends, and my friends are always gonna, no matter what, they're gonna be there for me. So no matter what I tell them, I can tell them I murdered somebody, and they'll be like, "That's crazy. What did they do to you to deserve that?" And I'd be like, "Oh, they looked at me funny." But that's your friend. They're gonna have your back. So if I tell you something or Jessica something, you guys will challenge me, or sometimes Gabriel gets a little heavy-handed with his opinion on things. So I've noticed he's taken a little bit of a step back from being so staunch.
Yeah.
So being able to talk to him also feels a little easier because Gabriel was always like,
these guys, maybe like a month or two ago, they came to me and they had like an hour conversation with me about sometimes I'm an asshole.
This motherfucker was like, "No, I'm not." We're like, "Yeah, you're kind of an asshole." "No, I'm not." "Yeah, you're kind of an asshole." Text Antonio right now and ask him, "Is Gabriel an asshole?" "Yeah, he's a little bit of an asshole, but I get it." And I was like, and he was like, "Oh shit, I might be an asshole."
Yeah. So, but one of the asshole things about me, I've been pretty good since. No, I think I listen.
You have your moments, but I think we all do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
there's times where Jessica's an asshole.
I think the big part. Jess is sometimes an asshole though.
So am I. I have moments where I just grunt when they talk to me.
But at least you and I admit it. Jess doesn't admit it sometimes. But anyway, that's getting off subject. But
should have episodes.
The big thing that I was an asshole about, and this ties into what you were saying before, was I'm a little forceful, a little heavy-handed, a little overbearing sometimes. And sometimes I just gotta shut the fuck up. Just like Donkey from Shrek, Donkey from Shrek gotta shut the fuck up sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I just gotta do that, and I've been better at it.
He has. He's been really good. So and I think that
I remember. Can I intern just kind of bring up like what example you used about like me being an asshole because I think it's pretty funny. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm bringing it up. Forgive me. Raise your hand if you want me to stop. Stop telling the story.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I remember. I know what it is. We were sitting here.
So intern just was walking by, and I was working on my computer, and then she took some selfies on Instagram on her story. I think
it was,
or it might have been a post.
I think it was a post.
And I thought it was so whack. It just looked super whack to me. So I made fun of her about it, and it hurt her feelings. And that was the example she brought up. So sorry, intern Jess.
And I remember Gabriel was like, and I have this problem too, where it's like if it's something that I think is dumb, I'm just gonna be like, I think it's fucking dumb. There's one time my partner at the time told me what she was gonna be for Halloween, and I was like, that's fucking stupid. And now I look back, after having more talks with people, I'm like, why? Like, who cares? Like, why do I have to talk like that? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? Like, just do whatever you want.
Yeah, no,
and it's hard because looking back, you realize a lot of, like, I'm sure there are times where you have talks now, you're like, I don't know why I did that. Why was I so fucking gung-ho that they needed to know that shit was dumb?
It's easier to do it, when it was like 10 years ago than, a year ago. Because, what comes to mind is just, I think for everybody, it's like, me being a kid, I was like just passionate about shit that didn't matter. I think it's still even prevalent now, but we can't see it at times. I'm sure other people would see it about us, but, I'm sure there's things I still do that I'm just passionate about stupid shit. Like, 10 years ago when you're in fucking whatever music, whatever phase you're in, I don't know, fucking emo or underground hip hop or fucking, I don't know, EDM, whatever the fuck it is.
And
it's just like everything else fucking sucks. You make fun of other people's music taste or whatever. But then, as an adult, you just go like, it's all fucking music. Who fucking cares?
It's all the same shit.
Yeah, I had to enjoy it. And
I hit that. I had to hit that. I hit that plateau. It's weird because I could do it with music, but with like certain things, I'm like, no, I'm never changing that part.
Yeah, and just, long story short, if you guys take anything away from this episode, words hurt. Okay, be kind with your words.
If you take anything away from this episode, emo music still sucks.
But what else? I forgot what the fuck we were talking about, to be honest.
Depression, I guess.
We're on depression. Vic, parents. I think we were talking about. I don't remember.
What were we talking about?
Camera Chris.
It was you're drinking.
Oh yeah,
drinking, slowing down. Okay, you've been trying to do. Thank you, Camera Chris.
He's not only a cameraman, he's a fucking genius. Yeah.
And so, you've just been trying to work on. You've been acknowledging behavior more.
I've been trying to acknowledge behavior.
We've been communicating, trying to get our relationship
communicating.
Better.
Hopefully a little better. I think you've noticed that our communication has gone up. I've been trying to write some stuff down. I've been trying to hold myself accountable for things. And I've also been trying to just, overall work on myself a little bit. And it's baby steps. I've been such a fucking everything's great kind of kid. I've always been kind of a down kid, I guess, that it's still a uphill battle. But I do think for the first time in a long time, I'm actually in the battle now. Before it was just like, I'd look at the hill and be like, fuck that hill. I'm just going to sit here. And now for the first time, I think I'm trying to make my way up.
Yeah. Well,
still sucks though.
It sucks.
I wish I was born rich. If I was born rich, I'd just be a regular asshole, but I'd be rich.
I'd just cry my money and fucking
throw it away. Here we are.
I was gonna make some darker jokes right now. I'm like,
I kind of want you to do it now.
No, I
already said God's over. I said God's over too. I ain't gonna get darker than that, brother. He's trying to take me out.
Yeah, I gotta be polite.
I got like reverse.
There's nothing about you or anything. It's
reverse Final Destination.
Well, everybody does. An hour 10.
Hour 10, yeah.
For you.
Talks are getting. Oh, I wanted to make a fucking Joe Dirt joke. Remember how he's doing his little life story? And he's like,
the radio station?
Saga of Joe Dirt. And welcome to episode 2. And he's like, dang. It's too late now in the fucking moment.
The moment's passed. Fuck. But, yeah, before we get going, Vic, you have the quote. We're going to do a quote like always, you guys.
So,
and, yeah, go ahead, please, Vic.
This show, other than me and Gabriel wanted to explore things, hip-hop has always been important to both of us. It's an outlet where, you can kind of be whoever you want, do whatever you want, and it's kind of cool to be accepted differently. Today's quote comes from Big Crit from his 2017 track Drinking Sessions. It's off his album Forever is a Mighty Long Time. Check it out. Big Crit's probably like one of my favorite artists. And the quote is, I can't hold it back, can't control these tears. I mean, after all these years, I'm still the kid writing poems, too shy to eat in the cafeteria. Yeah, just sit on that for a moment or check the track out if you want. But, emotions are tough. And, no matter how long, even after all these years, I think, I was still the same kid for a long time, introverted and kind of cranky. And hopefully I'm trying to get out of that now.
No.
If you're a fan of the show, please help us out by clicking follow, clicking subscribe, writing a little comment on the YouTube, writing a little comment on the podcast app. It would help tremendously. It doesn't take very long. If you have a hip hop quote, we've never gotten a hip hop quote from anybody.
Yeah,
so,
we have.
Have we? Oh, we have.
It was more than a year ago, so I'm sure we don't really remember.
I mean, we haven't done the podcast in a year, so we have gotten them. If you guys, please send them, especially if they're about mental health or they're about something that's relevant to you. Please send it. We'd love to describe it.
Even if you want to put some words to it or something.
Feel free to send us a quote and how you feel about it. We'll break it down with you.
Stop being a little scaredy cat.
Yeah, please. Gabe can be found on Instagram at always oneself. Again, that's at always oneself on Instagram. I can be found at Lord Technician Vic. That's Vic with a VIC. The show is edited by Campana Sound Company, providing recording, editing, mixing, and live sound services. Find them at campanasound.com. And I think we wanted to talk about, we were going to say something else, but I forgot.
Like categories for the show?
No, not categories for the show. Just about these guys. Is that it?
No.
That's it.
These guys.
Woo! Another successful episode. I merely rock on any block. Hotter than my top.